What's up, y'all? Hope all is well with y'all today. You guys, today we're going to be talking about self-sabotage because as the chosen ones, a lot of times we do have some self-sabotaging ways that hinders our anointing. It prevents us from being able to fully walk into the version of ourselves that God called us here to be, and it inhibits the position that He's trying to call us into as our purpose to serve for the kingdom. So, if you don't know what self sabotage is, it's basically self destructive behaviors that we do on a day to day that prevents us from being able to accomplish the goals that we set out for ourselves. And we either do it, consciously or subconsciously. Sometimes we don't realize we're doing it. We don't know that we're doing it, and sometimes we know, but we can't conquer that feeling at the time, conquer that temptation that we're battling against. It become a flesh versus spirit thing, and we can't quite overcome it. So we succumb to the temptation, and ultimately we prevent ourselves from being able to move forward because of self-destructive behaviors. Like for me, one of my greatest self-destructive behaviors is with my eating. And so it's a lot of different areas that it can apply to. It can apply to relationships. It can apply to personal goals such as weight loss, or if you're trying to gain weight, or if you're just trying to grow muscles. Anything with getting your body in order, getting your health in order. Opportunities in your career, relationships. It can happen in any of these areas that we encounter in life. And a lot of it comes from, past traumas and things like that maybe we are not aware that is affecting our present. A lot of times, y'all know how I always talk about in my videos, a lot of times we don't see how our trauma affects how we move as adults, how we move every day in our life. We don't think that it's affecting us, but subconsciously it's causing wear and tear on you, and it's affecting how you move in your relationships. It affects your thinking. It affects how you move. It affects your confidence. A lot of people self-sabotage relationships because of insecurities. People will, because of their own experiences or because of things that they seen their mom do or things that they seen their dad do, they now think that all women are like this or all men are like this. So when they go into relationships, they automatically thinking that this person is doing what they seen their mama do, and they may not trust women or may not trust men because of what they seen their parents do or grandparents or family members or cousins, whoever that they seen do it. Or maybe a past relationship where their past partner was a habitual cheater. Maybe their past partner was abusive or whatever the case may be. So now when you get in this new relationship and you see, one little thing, all of a sudden you being insecure and thinking that this person is also doing that same thing because that's what you used to or that's what happened to you before. So now you'll project onto this new person, and they may not be doing that thing. I mean, this is why it's important to really heal, not just cope. Like, people get out of relationships and jump into other relationships, and you haven't processed what went on in the last relationship, and then you taking those behaviors unknowingly into the new one. That baggage from the last person, you take that into the new relationship, and it ends up affecting the new person because they're not that person, and you see maybe some traits that might seem a little similar, or maybe even not. It's just your own insecurities, and now you putting that on that person. You think this, your last partner was a habitual cheater. As soon as they answer the phone one time, that you instantly get the mind racing, instantly getting to thinking they doing something they ain't supposed to be. But this new person, they literally could have just been at the store and just didn't hear the phone ring, or maybe maybe the phone never even rung because the connection was bad or whatever, and you automatically think that they're cheating on you, or so we're going to go over a list of things that are signs that you may be self-sabotaging. And we don't want to self-sabotage because we deserve greatness, and once we begin to heal from our past, from our traumas. And y'all know, as us as narcissistic survivors, we're narcissist survivors. A lot of us, we really have had a lot of psychological anguish that was done to us. It may not even have been physical. Some of us, it has been physical as well as the mental anguish that has been done to us. But sometimes it was just the mental, and you've been gaslit your entire life, and you've been manipulated with these witches, aka narcissists, these witches and wizards and warlocks that be trying to come against you. And this is the things that they say and have done to us. It plagues on us until we literally heal and get our identity and learn who we are, so that we're not letting those past things affect us and preventing us from really answering the call on our life and really allowing us to step into the greatness that God has ordained for us, because we're the chosen ones. We have a spiritual inheritance and a physical inheritance. And for us to claim it and actually possess it and steward it properly, we gotta clean ourselves up, so that when we get our blessings, y'all know I tell y'all all the time, prepare for the blessing. No matter if you praying for that perfect spouse, even with that, nobody's perfect, but who's perfect to you? What a good couple looks like to you? What your dream person is to you? That's realistic, obviously. So we're gonna go over that too in the list of things, because sometimes we do have unrealistic expectations. But you know, we have greatness that is our portion. We are the chosen ones. We literally have a promise of the land flowing of milk and honey. The things that your hearts desire, God wants you to have those things, but there's things that He needs you to work on to prepare for that blessing you asking for. Because many people be praying for the perfect partner, and then they get them, and your insecurities push them away because you kept accusing them. You kept blaming them. You never took accountability. You never did your part. You never showed up. You wasn't a man or woman of your word, or you always, belittled them. It always made them feel like they weren't enough, or, it's a lot that goes into it. Or maybe been asking for that perfect job opportunity, or you've been praying that you hit the lottery, and you hit the lottery, and because you never did the classes on how to manage money, how to save money, how to invest money, you get this money, and all of a sudden you back broke again in less than a month because of your spending habits, your addictions that you have not got control over yet. And this is why oftentimes God will hold up our blessings, because you're not ready for what you're asking for yet. You have not gained discipline. You have not gained discipline for those things that you ask for. And it says, one of the scriptures that I, wrote down about discipline is, he that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. You must have discipline. You have to have rule over yourself. You have to be able to self-control. And that's a theme for this year. For me, is discipline. And for us, period, as the chosen ones, discipline is key. Discipline is key. I know that, they have deliverances that, do spiritually. We have spiritual deliverance, because self-sabotage is a spirit, because it comes from a sense of lack. And a lot of times when we have been rejected, as we have as chosen ones, rejected and abandonment, it puts that spirit of self-sabotage on you, because it goes hand in hand with the spirit of rejection and abandonment. And those two spirits create a sense of unworthiness. So when you feel unworthy, you naturally do things to self-sabotage yourself. And like I said, you either know it, that you know you're doing it, you're aware, you're conscious that you're doing it, or it's happening subconsciously, because deep down inside, you have low self-esteem, and you have a low self-worth of yourself. You don't feel like you're deserving of anything greater. So you sit there and just you dwell within what you're comfortable with, and you accept the bare minimum, and you think that nothing good can ever happen for you, and that you don't deserve these things. So you sit there and accept the bare minimum, and you accept lack, and you stay in a impoverished mind. And that's not our portion. You're the chosen one. You were chosen for greatness. You were chosen to be in the kingdom of heaven. You were chosen. You were chosen for this. And when God chooses you for this, and you fight the good fight, you're going to be rewarded for it. You're going to be rewarded for it, but you have to first do these things. You have to have the discipline. You have to be able to not let your fears and things get in the way of what's a part of your destiny. You're destined for greatness, but if you don't believe it, you can't see it. Y'all probably can't see this sign up here. I'm gonna put a picture of it on the screen for y'all. But it says she believed she could, so she did. And that is something that we must understand, that if you believe, like if you believe you can do something, you can do it. There's steps that it takes to get there, but you have to be willing to put the work in every single day. It doesn't come easy, and nothing worth having comes easy. But you have to be disciplined, you have to be consistent, and you have to believe that it's yours. You have to believe that you deserve these things, or else it's not going to come to you. You have to think it and feel it and have faith that it is yours. And like we know, my famous scripture for Hebrews 11 about faith. Let's flip to it right quick. But is now faith is the evidence, the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. Let me see if I can flip to it though to make sure I'm saying it correctly. Wait a minute. Where is it? It's Hebrews. I lost my other page. Where's Hebrews? It's no, it's back here. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. So let's go to it. So now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of the things not seen. You have to believe in the things you cannot see. You have to know that it's in your future. It's on the horizon for you. And then you have to take the steps that it takes, because we do know faith without works is dead. You have to put that work in. You cannot expect everything to just come to you without you taking some steps. There are certain steps you have to do to get those things. And sometimes it might be just a little step. Sometimes your work that you do is just simply an act of faith, simply believing that it can happen, simply being obedient to what God is telling you to do. If he's telling you to go to a certain place, move to a certain place, stop hanging around in certain places, stop hanging around certain people. You don't know, by just being obedient, that simple obedience, what door is going to open for you to get the things that you're praying for, the things that is in your destiny, the things that God has already ordained for you to have. But if you don't, for one, follow God, you don't have that close relationship with God, you're not listening to when he's dropping nuggets on you and giving you downloads to do certain things, to make certain plays, to make certain moves, you're not believing in how he views you versus what the world views you as. And because of your low self-esteem and your identity crisis that you're in, and like I said before, this is the reason why God will take you on a spiritual journey. This is the purpose of your spiritual journey, of your wilderness season, because it's in your wilderness season where he gives you identity. So like I said, we'll talk about that in another video. But ultimately, that's the importance of growing a close relationship with God. And like y'all know, my ebook is available. Click the link in the description box for the 7 Keys to the Kingdom. It is my ebook to teach you exactly how to grow that close relationship to God, exactly what's going to give you all the tools you need so that you can prosper within your relationship with God. And in turn, you'll know when you're hearing from God. You'll know what he's expecting of you. You'll know what is your portion. You'll know how to be obedient. You'll know what that looks like. You'll know exactly what faith looks like. You'll have that reference to go to when you are withering with your faith and you're feeling like things can't happen for you. You want to have that book on hand so that you can always have the keys you need to succeed with your relationship with God and with walking into your purpose, because you have to maintain those 7 keys to stay within the kingdom of God. You have to maintain those things. Those are the keys to unlock the doors to the great life. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over the list of things. So for the sake of time, so I won't make the video like super long. But I'm gonna go over the list of things. Let's pull it over here. Let's pull the laptop over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and read some of these things for y'all, but we must understand that you have to walk by faith and actually believe that you can have things. Actually believe that you're good enough to have what you want. It doesn't matter what other people think about you. It doesn't matter what your last partner thought about you. It doesn't matter what your parents thought about you. It only matters what the Lord thinks about you, because he created you. He created you. Your parents was just the vessels to get you here, but it matters the identity that he gave you, because a lot of times the identity that the world gives us, that we give ourselves, and ultimately the identity we give ourselves is based on what our parents thought we were, what our teachers thought we were, what the adults and the family members that we came from, what they thought we were. And speaking of that, before y'all know I gotta tell a little something, because I let y'all know what my baby even told me. Another thing that she didn't told me, because speaking of this thing, and it just, these are the things that will try to play your spirit. You got these people that's supposed to be your parents and family that's supposed to love you, and they be plotting on how to sabotage you. And these are the same people that have planted the seeds of doubt in your head in the beginning because of how they have treated you. Like I said, it just goes back into the identity that someone else gave you versus what God gave you. And when you learn who God think you is and who God called you to, and what he believed, what he's instilled in you versus what your parents instilled in you and what they try to demean you to be, it just, you can tell the difference. Because a lot of times those parents and family, these negative family members that we have, negative friends, negative partners, they be like the enemy. And that'd be the voice that we hear constantly in our ear. So when God is telling you, no, you're great, you're beautiful, I called you to do this thing, you can do that, you do have what it takes to start this business, to start this ministry, to get that job, you are qualified. And the other side of you hearing that voice saying, nah, I'm not good enough. Nah, because you're hearing them negative voices from the past who say, nah, you ain't nothing, you'll never be nothing, or you can never be this, or you can never be that. Oh, nah, people where we from don't do this, you can't do that. You hearing that, when you need to kick that voice out, you need to rebuke and uproot that voice. You need to say, the devil is a lie, get thee behind me, Satan, when you're hearing those voices in your head, because those voices is what play into that self-sabotage, you know. But I wanted to, say that real quick about, my daughter gonna tell me that my mom said, and mind you, she's home now. So yesterday we was on the couch or whatever, and she was like, yeah, and mommy, and grandma said that her and daddy can take care of me and Sonari. I'm like, what? Like, it's like she's old. And it's just irritating, because why are you saying this to her? Like, what is your purpose of saying it? Why do you not want me to have my kids? And what's crazy is because while she was gone, I had a dream that I got locked up and that my baby daddies had to get the kids, and my mom. And I just remember in a dream, like, saying, something about calling my mom. And I remember telling my baby daddy to take my car and take the baby, because I'm getting ready to get locked up or something. And I told him to take them and or call my mom, so she could help them out and stuff like that. And it's so funny that, and I had a dream about that while she was gone. And when she returned, the other day, and she was saying that, she told me that yesterday on the couch. I'm like, why is she saying that? And if y'all have watched my previous videos, I'm her as the main culprit. They called CPS on me to trying to say I was doing drugs around my kids and stuff like that. And it's just like, I just don't understand what's up with this lady. Like, why do you not want me to have my kids? I'm a bomb mom. I'm the best mom, period. So it's like, why are you trying to, it's like, why do you hate on me? Because, like, why do you not want me to have nobody? You don't want me to have nobody else. I never had no family in the first place because of you. I never had no other family. And now you don't want me to have my own children either, when I'm a well qualified mother. I genuinely wanted to be a mother. So this stuff really threw me for a loop with this, because it's like, I literally had kids because I wanted to be a mother. I didn't have kids like a lot of these women be having kids just for a check, or just so they can keep a man, trying to trap a man. Now, I literally wanted to be a mother. I literally wanted to get my heart, the love that I have. I wanted to really give it to somebody, and I wanted to have genuine love in return, because once again, this is something that I never really felt. So for you to want to take the one thing that make me happy, the one thing that give me motivation, which is being a mom, which is having my kids, that they really put that pack in my back. They really inspire me to do more. They really give me motivation. Everything I do is in hopes just to set them up with a great future, so they don't have to do a lot of the things I've done. I literally just, always want to be there for them. So for her not to, for her to be saying that, knowing dang on well, you don't want my kids. You wouldn't even babysit when we were in Maryland. So why you keep saying that you want my kids? None of them really want these kids full time. They can't handle these kids full time. She can't. Even my daughter knows. She's like, she is not. Grandma is not gonna be able to handle me and Ari. She is not gonna be able to handle me and Ari. Especially my little baby. She's a brat. She's spoiled. She cry baby. And even when my mama came down here, you didn't. That was when she was actually what, like before she turned 1, when she came down here, and she didn't even want to deal with her then. She was telling me, take her in the store with you. She cried too much, this, that, and that. I'm like, but yeah, you talking about something, you could take my baby, like you, like why would you even, what made you say that to her, saying, I can take me and your dad, me and your dad can take care of you and Ari. Like, why would y'all need to take care of them when they have a mother that's well and alive? Like, why do you even want that? But she's a hater, and these people be mad. People really be mad because you love your kid. I really love my kids. I really, really love my children, and I love them more than I love any other person walking this earth. And they be mad about that because I even prioritize my kids before her, before my family. I don't care about y'all. I care about the ones that I pushed out my cooch, the ones that I birthed, the ones that I risked my life for. That's who I care about. And it's like they're mad. It's like that's the one thing, because I realize that that's why they know that's the one thing that can take me out of my element. They know that's the one thing that will drive me crazy. So it's like they want to see me driven crazy because she don't have her kids, and because I ain't dealing with her. And then my brother, I mean, he cool obviously with her, but we not in the States with her no more. We both live in 2 different states. We both then left her to go do our own thing, have our own families. And it's like she always want to sabotage me. You never want me to have healthy relationships. You don't really, it's just like the jealousy. It's like you jealous. You've been jealous when I was in relationships with my baby daddies. You mad because you ain't have that. You was not, for as far as I'm concerned, certified side chick to both of your baby daddies. As far as I'm concerned, you just mad that your baby daddies are not like mine. Even though me and mine have issues, but they still better than the ones she had. How about that? And it's like it be the jealousy for me, and I just can't understand like why you be. What's the big deal? It's like me as a mom really offends this lady or intimidates her, because for you to say something like that, it's like when do you stop? When do you stop? I just can't believe it. And a lot of the things that I've endured because of her is what plays into my self-sabotage. And that's another thing that we're gonna get to on this list, because I always talk to y'all about my weight. I've struggled with my weight all my life. And, that's another thing that my daughter said. She said about, because my daughter was like, grandma ain't got no snacks at her house. She bought me some popcorn, but it was some like, off-brand popcorn or something. Because my daughter only likes the certain kind of white cheddar popcorn. But I was like, grandma don't know, because she don't be buying that stuff. So she think it's all the same. And she said, that's what she said. It's all the same. But my mom never really bought us snacks for real either. Like, we didn't have snacks. My mom, she's a nerd. So she buys only what she wants to have and what she eats. And then if we either gonna eat that or we ain't eating nothing. And barely that. Like, if I didn't go to the store with her when I was younger, me and my brother not gonna have the stuff that we like in the house. She gonna get her cereal she like. We just gonna have to eat that. Like, she ain't gonna do that. Only when I go to the store is when I be like, because I know what my brother likes and I know what I like. So I would get stuff that we like. That's why I always wanted to go to the grocery store when she went, because if not, she not gonna get the good stuff. Me, and I think too, and now I was thinking about this yesterday, like, this is part, because I told you I suffer with the junk food. That's a part of my self-sabotage. I keep supposed to, I done lost all this weight, then gain weight back, and now I'm, trying to lose it again. But then I end up caving into the snacks or the carbs and stuff again. And I have an obsession with having a snack drawer and I think it comes from a place where we didn't have snacks like that. And my mom ain't buy noodles. We ain't have noodles and stuff. Like, I had TV dinners. I had TV dinners, and she would like, if I go to the store, like I said, I gotta go to the store with her to get the good stuff. But she'll buy me a steak. I'll get my cans of Glory Greens, because that's what I used to cook for myself in the house. Because she be working, so I cook my own stuff. And I'll cook my own food and stuff. Just But we ain't have like all of that stuff. I'm not gonna say we went without food or nothing, but we ain't have this stuff. My mom did, just enough. I might have my TV dinners and stuff like that. That's the main thing I remember. But all the stuff that I buy for my kids, I realized why I do it is because when I was growing up, I didn't have that. But I remember I would go to my friend's house and they had snack drawers. They always had snacks. They had noodles, even though noodles technically isn't healthy, but this is what the kids like to have. That's what all the black kids, at least, that's what we like. And my daughter was saying that my mom told her that she never bought snacks for us and stuff like that. And I don't know if she just did it because I was fat, so she was like, I don't want her to just have it, so she won't be fat. But if you think about it, it's like you didn't buy that stuff and I was still fat. So that wasn't what was causing me to be fat. Like I don't know what was really causing. Maybe it's eating the carbs. And I would just if I go to school, I would get chips from the vending machine at school. But all that every day in the house, I ain't have just snacks all around. But it's funny that she told that to my daughter. And I was like, see, that's why I think I get obsessed with having a snack drawer. My kids love the snack drawer. And I love the snack drawer too. I love the snack drawer. Because it just we ain't got no snacks in here, they think we ain't got no food. That's when they think we got food, when they go and open that snack drawer. And it just make me feel good when I see their face when we got snacks again, when we stock up and stuff. But it's just interesting how things that from our past does affect everything we do now. Everything that we have been through in our lives, in our past, it affects our present. Everything we do, it all stems from a place. And this is why it's important to unpack everything from the past so you see where these things come from. So it was just interesting that she said that stuff. And I'm just like, these people really be out to destroy you. And like I said before like I said in the last video, I don't understand why she finds it necessary to say this stuff to my children or to my child. But she just needs help. But yet she says I'm the mental health patient, and I'm the crazy one. After all, I mean, she said that she got my name from a crazy lady. And it's like, who says stuff like that? Like, my name means fairy queen, actually, and that I am, because I do come from the heavens and I'm a queen, baby. But she told me that she got my name from a crazy lady. It's just so crazy how when you think about stuff over time, it'd be like, dang, are you really a witch? I don't want to really believe that. And that's one of the self-sabotaging things that we're going to get into. You guys, this is crazy. I just can't believe that she really dang on well you don't really want my daughters. You don't want to take care of them. You don't even want to babysit. You definitely would not want to have them full time. So why you even? But it's just people just want you hurt. And nothing bothers me but my kids. You do stuff to my kids. That's what bothers me. The enemy knows to what I care about the most. My kids. My kids. That's why that's what was used to send me on my journey. Feeling like me and my kids' life was in danger sent me on a way because nope, I got to protect my babies. I really, like I said in the last video, my kids is the ones that really know me. Like, they the ones who get the core of me. But everybody else, like I told y'all, I'm an onion. There's several layers to me that not many get to unpack. Many people don't get to see the core of me because I'm guarded with all humans. But my children, these little humans, they came from me. They genuinely love me. And that's why I don't understand these narc parents, because it's like, how do you treat your kids bad when if your kids is to the point where they don't rock with you, it's something that you have done, because all kids want to love their parents. And they see past everything. Like, they don't see the flaws within their parents until they start to get older and they start to awaken and they start to, their spiritual eyes open. That's when they start to realize, and even still, you still don't want to believe it. You still be like, okay, give it time. Maybe they'll change. Maybe they'll change. We will go no contact with them for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And then something happens. We end up trying to like, okay, maybe let's see, maybe time. They say time heals all things. Maybe this, and then you go back around, and it's still the same old sneak disses, still the same old little slick comments, still the same old little grunts and us. Um, you know what? It's just it's craziness, you guys. But this is why we have these self-sabotaging ways. This is why it's important for us to heal. We have to heal in order to go from survivor to thriver. We have to understand that it does not matter what these people said, did. Yes, it has affected us, but we got to turn that pain, like I always say, turn that pain into purpose, find our identity, become into our own being of who God called us here to be, not what these people labeled us as. Even some of my mean teachers. I realized, I was thinking about this yesterday. I'm like, I had some mean teachers. Like I had my one favorite teacher, Miss Kane, and I hope she is doing well and blessed and highly favored and protected. I love Miss Kane. I'm never gonna forget her. She used to treat me like a daughter. Like she used to call me her daughter. And everybody used to say I look like her. This is my 5th and 6th grade teacher. I had another teacher, Miss Jackson Green. She was the devil. She was a witch. She definitely was a witch. And she had red nails. And I think that's why I despise red nails. Okay, hold on, baby. I gotta go get your sister. What time is it? I think that's why I despise red nails, you guys. No shade if y'all wear red nails. But I despise red nails because that's what the mean witches wear. And even that other lady, Miss Johnson, it's just like, they don't understand kids that I was talkative, I guess, and but they don't know I'm alone all the time at home. So when I come to school, I love coming to school. That's why I used to love school, because I get to talk. I get to talk to people. But even Mr. Moorhead, he was a mean man. He was like, Tania! I'd be like, come on, let's go call your mother. Like, he was mean. And I'd be like, I don't care. Like, I'm not afraid of you calling home. I'm not going to give you the house number, and she ain't there. So I don't care. Like, he was mean too. Them mean teachers. And that will, even them, they play on who you are. Y'all know a lot of people, especially like the rappers, y'all hear them say what they teacher told them they wasn't going to be nothing. That stuff stick with you. That stuff stick with you. And that lady, Miss Jackson Green, my 4th grade, I think she was my 4th grade teacher. And mind you, that's when we first moved to Fort Washington. That's when we first moved around there. I was my first year at the school, and that lady was mean. She was mean. She made me write them essays during recess and stuff. Me and my friend, and it used to be essays. We used to have to write them so much, to the point, me and her on the weekends, me and my friend, when we would be at each other's house, we just started writing them joints to have them doing. So that way, when she keep us inside during recess, we already got one. Like, and when we already prepared. We already got one on deck. Because she used to stay making us write them. It used to be like, I will behave. I will, like, it used to be a long 5-paragraph essay that she would have us write over and over. Even if you finish your first copy, she gonna make you write that joint again the whole recess. That lady was a witch. And I rebuke her. But it be stuff like that stick with you. It's like, okay, not only dealing with it from the outside, but then you dealing with it from the inside. Okay, y'all. So, but yeah, like I was saying, these people of the past, your teachers, your parents, your friends, cousins, siblings, brothers, ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, ex-husband, wife, whatever. These folks that then put these things in your ear to make you feel like, you're not worthy of greatness. You're not worthy of the things your heart desires. You don't want to let that affect you. And we have to get to the point where we learn to focus on how we feel about ourselves in a healthy way. Be realistic about things, because we'll go into the Ari shh. So we'll go into it, but let's let me pull it here. So we're going to go over a couple of the things that are signs of self-sabotaging behavior. So if you relate to any of these things, this is a sign of a self-sabotaging behavior that you have that is preventing you from growing into that man or woman that God has called you here to be. So the first thing is procrastination on important things. You postpone important projects. Um, so if you the type of person, I'm a big procrastinator, but that's also too because I do work well under pressure. I thrive under pressure. I definitely do, like when deadlines is approaching, but you don't really want to do that because it put more stress on you than you need when you just can set out ample amount of time to get things done. Don't wait till the last minute. Like a lot of parents, I've seen that a lot. They wait till the last minute. I used to hate that. They wait till the last minute to get their kids enrolled in school. You knew all summer long that school was coming. You know it's around the same time every single year. Yet you wait till a couple days before to get your kids enrolled. You wait till school already starts to get your kids enrolled. Like, what were you doing? You were procrastinating and not prioritizing what's important. You have to learn how to prioritize what's important. But to some people, maybe their kids being in school isn't that much of a priority to them. So they don't care about making sure they have everything they need. They don't care about them getting the sloppy seconds and the leftovers and not having the first of the pick. They don't care about making sure that stuff is done up front. But this applies to anything because procrastination on work assignments that you have, procrastination on things that you said you would do, maybe for your children or for your significant other or for your manager or for your employees or whatever, you procrastinate on getting the job done. And the reasons being could be a variety of different things. Maybe you don't feel like you're deserving of the thing that you're really working towards. Maybe you don't feel like it's going to produce what you think it's going to produce. So you like, why bother? Why put the work in? You don't think that it can happen for you. Or you might just be simply battling a slothful spirit of laziness and it's affecting you. It's affecting you. It's affecting you from accomplishing your goals. It's affecting you from answering the call in your life. It's affecting you from truly going from survivor to thriver, which that is ultimately what we're working on. For the chosen ones on this channel, we coming together. We in this together. I am with y'all. Y'all are with me. We're in this together to go from survivor to thriver and claim what's ours. We're destined to win. It's no reason why the wicked is out here rich and successful and winning, and we as the chosen ones, who it's our birthright. It's our birthright. Literally, from the time we was in our mama's womb, it was already ordained for us to be these great beings on earth. We are the earth angels. We are the light workers. We are destined for greatness. There's no reason why we sitting here suffering when success, greatness, happiness, peace is our portion. It's our portion to be to inherit the land flowing of milk and honey. That's our portion. So the second thing, pushing people away or starting fights with them. When you are insecure with yourself, like I said in the beginning of the video, when you have these insecurities within yourself and you don't feel worthy of maybe the person that you have, like you was dreaming for a type of relationship like this or a type of person like this or a type of job like this, and you get them and now you do subtle things to push them away. You start being, them insecurities start playing out and it ends up irritating that person, or it ends up, it really causes issues within the relationship, and then they start to get distant. They start to draw away. Maybe your temper, maybe your attitude, maybe your laziness, maybe your lack of drive, maybe your lack of being a man or woman of your word. And I know for me, word is bond. For women, word is bond. When you tell us that you want to do something, we expecting it. That's why our ear gates get us in trouble as women. And that's why we easily manipulate it, because when a man tells us something, we are believing him to do that thing. And when he does not do that thing, that creates distrust for us, because it's like you letting us down. Because as soon as you tell us something, we hold on to it. Why y'all think so many of these men that's in jail, in prison, they get to do that sweet talk to these women out here all through the ear, all through what they telling them? Men can tell us whatever, and we hold on to it. Like God tell us a promise and we hold on to it. We hold on to it in hopes that it's going to happen one day. Men do the same thing. That's why I say men act a lot like God. That's how you know they was made in his image for real. That'd be a whole nother different video. Don't make me get started on that. This is how you know when you really know God and you see how these men act. Men was made in his image. They sell a dream. Just they tell you, for them, a lot of times with them though, they use Satan's tactics. They tell you lies to sell you dreams, hopes, and dreams. Whole time they get ready to f your life up. But with God, nah, He really get ready to prosper you. When He give you a promise, He tell you, "I'm gonna do this for you, and I'm gonna do this." But this is, you gotta go through this season. You gotta go through this test period. That's why I say men do that too to women. They do that to us. Always want to test you. Want to test you, and I don't like that. Don't be testing me, because now you gonna make me. You want to play stupid games, you gonna win stupid prizes. Don't be playing pranks. Don't be doing all these games and stuff. I'm not here to play games. I'm really here to build and thrive. I don't got time for them games. So you playing games with me, that make me feel like now I can't trust you. So now it's creating a barrier between me and you. Because it's like, if you want to play those games with me, I feel like, all right, you ain't serious. I don't got time for them games. But a lot of these people out here, these men out here and women out here, but I'm a woman, I date men, so these men that like to play games, baby, you gonna play stupid games, win stupid prizes, like some of these dudes be doing, and they wonder why I'm no longer in their life. Because you want to play stupid games, you want a stupid prize. You push me away, and now I'm over here, you're over there, watching from the sidelines, wishing that it still was something that it's not going to be, because you wanted to play stupid games. So we push each other away. Women, I've pushed people away too, because of my attitude, my temper, not having that emotional, that self-controlling, that self-regulation part of emotional intelligence, which, like I said, we'll do that in another video too one day, about emotional intelligence, because we do have to become more emotionally intelligent. And I know that is something that is really hard for me to self-regulate. And, I'll be trying, but sometimes the flesh wins. But let's read that scripture here. It says in Galatians 5:16, so I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. And the merciful man does good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubles his own flesh. And it's funny that that's Proverbs 11, chapter 11, verse 17. And I've been seeing 11, 17 again. Y'all know those are my numbers that God communicates to me with. But the merciful man does good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubles his own flesh. Sometimes that we can trouble our own soul because of our self-sabotaging ways, because of our attitude, because of our ability to not be able to self-regulate, because of our lack of emotional intelligence, because of our lack of understanding, because of our lack of wisdom, because of our lack of patience. We'll end up going on these fleshly desires, like zapping out, allowing the spirit of wrath to come upon you, to to just bring down the thing that you're supposed to be creating, to create self-sabotage for your family, your relationship, your job, things that you're working on. These things can happen if we do not gratify the desires of our flesh and be able to withhold on giving in to certain temptations, even when we trigger. So it really is about learning your triggers. And we're going to probably talk about this in identity video, but about learning your triggers, learn what triggers you, and learn how to properly cope through those triggers when you're facing them. So this something that applies to me, but it's funny that maybe this is what God is, because I've been seeing I've been seeing, my number's 11:17 again. And maybe this is what God is trying to communicate to me. This message: the merciful man does good to his own soul, because I start self-sabotaging again with my eating. And God is really convicting me heavy about that. And that's another thing too. A lot of times, the things that you struggle with in life, God actually want to use that as for your purpose. That's why I always tell you, I turn your pain into purpose, because I know that's something too. That's another stream of income that's going to be for me, because once I master this, I'll be able to teach other people who like me, who struggle with their weight for, all their life, how I was able to get my weight off. But this, it's about keeping it off and maintaining it, because I done lost weight several times, but then I gained it back because I started self-sabotaging, want to just feed my face because them carbs be so good, that's a whole nother thing. But like I said, God will communicate to you through these angel numbers. You want to or whatever they say. Don't say that, it's demonic. So whatever they want to call them, prophetic word numbers, prophetic numbers, the numbers, God's creation, because the devil ain't create nothing. So it's nothing demonic about the numbers, baby, because God created everything. Satan only can pervert what God created. He can manipulate God's creation to make it fit his own agenda. But angels work for the Lord. And yeah, I went all in about that in that other video. So we ain't about to have a whole spill about that. But God keeps showing me the angel number 1117. And those are my numbers that he communicate with me. And it's funny that what I've been going through and what I've been talking about to him this verse came up, and it's funny that I wrote that down, and I'm just now realizing that that's 1117. But you want to do good to your own soul. Treat your body well, inside and out. So let's finish going over the list, because y'all know I'll get the getting off. But this is a part of this, because everything that I'm gonna say on this list, it has to do with doing these things. It has to do with gratifying the desires of your flesh by walking by the Spirit and not giving into your fleshly desires. Doing good to your own soul, treating yourself good, loving yourself, valuing yourself, because you are worthy of greatness. You are worthy of all the things that you really want in this life. But you just have to have some discipline. That's why I say with this deliverance thing, like people, the churches and stuff will do deliverances, but truthfully, it takes discipline to keep your deliverance. If you don't have discipline, if you because one thing about it, you can get delivered from something, and because the enemy knows your pain points, he knows what you always struggle with. He knows things that your heart desired, or he knows a lifestyle that you used to live. So even if you get delivered from something, you can end up going back to doing that thing, just like, with the eating and stuff. You get delivered from that gluttonous spirit, and then it come back because you end up overeating and self-sabotaging, eating bad things again, then you gain all the weight back. You break free from a toxic relationship and you end up back in it because of self-sabotaging ways, going back to things and people and places that God told you to stay away from. But a lot of times the enemy knows where your points are, and when you weak, when you having those moments of weakness, that's when the enemy gets in, when you weak and vulnerable, and he'll come in and slide those things in, trying to get you to go backwards. But if you don't have the discipline that you need, and you thought, you may have been delivered from smoking weed or from whatever you may have been delivered from, and you all of a sudden have a tragic event that happened in your life, and this is what will happen. In the enemy will throw an obstacle in your life to create a roadblock, and it's only to get you to go backwards, to set yourself back. So because of this tragic thing happening, you might be like, oh, this is too unbearable. I'm about to go back to drinking. I'm about to go smoke because I'm just stressed. I just can't handle this. Because you're feeling weak. And that's the time that the enemy will use to slide into, to deceive and to get you to go back to something that you was delivered from. But if you have discipline in that area, if you make the conscious decision to gratify the desires of the flesh and not give into that fleshly desire, that temptation that the enemy is trying to, get you to give into, you will overcome it and you won't backslide. I lately have been having, and this is why, I'm about to say it, but I had been craving weed again. And it's so funny. A little flyer came in the mail. I'm not gonna put it up there because I want the video to get flagged. This little how this place get my address? It's called Hello Mood. How did they get my address? That's what I want to know. How did they get my address to send me that in the mail? Well, it don't say my name on it. Do it say my name on it? No, it just says our resident, our friend over 21. I ain't never ordered from this place a day in my life. How they get my address? That ain't nothing but a trick of the enemy. And it was during a time like last week, I was just, in my feelings. I be in my feelings about this faith walk sometimes, and I just was craving the weed. Like I just was craving it. And I was like, man, I really want to smoke. I really want to smoke. So I went into a fast. This is how I know fasting works. When you have to, even when that gluttonous spirit, you have to fast. I'm telling you, I did a 48-hour fast. I didn't even make it to, I was supposed to be doing 3 days. I didn't make it to my 3rd day because I was feeling weak after that 48 hours. And then I knew I had to go to the airport and stuff and all that running around. I had to do that next day to get my daughter. And I didn't want to be weak out there, having to do all of that. So I did break the fast, but I did 48 hours, full 48 hours and stop. But after 24 hours I did a dry fast, no food, no drink at all. After that, did you go read? I'm about to. Okay. Um, after that, first 24 hours, that sensation that I was having to smoke again, it went away. It went away. So fasting is really important. You guys have to start fasting if you don't fast. And things that you battling with, I'm telling you, fasting, it's like because it detoxes and the impurities that you have inside, the thoughts, it brings clarity, it cleans, it makes the body start eating away at the toxins in it. It cleanses itself. Our bodies, the way God created our bodies is magnificent. It's magnificent. But once again, the self-sabotaging behaviors, and I even lost some weight, but I literally broke that fast and I ended up eating some chips. But at least that weed thing was kicked. It was kicked because it was tempting me. I was like, I was really going there. I'm like, I'm at this point where I really want to hit and I haven't smoked in a long time. So it's like that thing be coming over you and you have to resist that temptation. Like it says, the merciful man does good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubles his own flesh. When willing to let your anger and any of these things get the best of you, sadness and depression get the best of you, it can make you hurt your own self. You will trouble your own self, which is what self-sabotage is. It's self-destructive behaviors that will take you backwards instead of forward, where you're trying to go and where God is calling you to be. So let me finish going over the list of stuff. So the next one is you reject any love given to you because you feel undeserving of it. A lot of us do that in relationships. You don't even feel deserving of love because you never got that love. You never had a woman that really loved you, or you never had a man that really loved you. You've had people that just used you and abused you and discarded you. So when you get that person that genuinely loves you, you can't receive it. When you get this nice person, you can't receive it because you're used to people that's only beating you up. Whether it be physically or just mentally, you're not used to that. When you get this person that knows how to show up and take care of you and tend to your needs, you can't really appreciate it because you feel like they have a hidden motive or things like that. The next one is you prioritize what's comfortable rather than what's healthier, like staying in toxic relationships and toxic environments. You don't feel worthy of something better. You think this is all you can have because this is all I know. I come from a toxic family. I come from poverty. I come from lack. So I don't deserve to ever get out of this impoverished lifestyle. I don't deserve to ever make more than $1,000 a month. I don't deserve wealth. I only deserve to sit back and watch everybody else win, and then low-key have some jealousy and envy towards them people, or even just live vicariously through them because I know it can never be me. That can never be me. But no, baby, if you're the chosen one, you better rebuke that thought every dang on time it come, because you are the one that's destined for that stuff. You sitting up here watching these celebrities and watching it. No, you are the one that's destined for that. That is your birthright. So don't you feel like you're undeserving of that stuff. If anybody is deserving of it, it's you as the chosen one, because God chose you and he wants nothing but the best for you. Everybody else that said they wanted the best for you, they didn't. God is the one who wants the best for you. So when he's taking you through your pruning season, when he's stripping you from things and taking things away from you, don't get mad thinking like he don't want you to have nothing, because no, he's trying to strip you so he can build you back up on proper foundation, so he can build you back with the identity that he wants you to have, not what the world told you were supposed to have. He want to build you back up properly, because them other folk that raised you, that was supposed to build you up properly, they didn't do what they were supposed to do. They only tore you down. So God, now he going to let it all crumble so he can build you back. First with him, first with having your relationship with him first, so he can show you, so you can learn how to truly trust someone else. I go all into this in my book about the trusting, because it is hard really trying to believe in a being that you cannot see. If you can hardly believe in these humans, you can hardly believe in them. It'd be hard to feel like you can really have faith in a being that you cannot see. But I'm telling you, But I talk about that, in my book. So definitely make sure y'all get a copy of it. The ebook is still available. Click the link in my description box. And let's go on to the next thing. So, you prioritize staying places that's comfortable, then healthier. Just like, people will stay at dead-end jobs, stay in dead-end relationships. If it's no longer serving you, baby, and if it's not healthy for you, you don't want to stay in anything that's toxic. Toxic is poison, and poison kills. Why would you want to kill your own self? The merciful man does good to his own soul. He don't kill his own soul. He don't hurt his own self. The next is avoiding people that will tell us the truth when we don't want to hear it. This is how you self-sabotage. When you cannot accept truth, when you think that everything is an attack to you because somebody is telling you something that is the truth, that is only going to help you. You cannot change until you realize what is true and what's a lie. You cannot change if you're not willing to accept the truth and change those things, because that is why you're self-sabotaging, because you think that people just jealous. You think that people just don't want you to win. Okay. She just threw me off. I forgot what I was saying, but I literally forgot what I was saying at this point. But avoiding the truth, you need to be real with yourself. And when somebody else is telling you something, especially if you like in a relationship and they telling you something that is a flaw of yours that you're doing to them, and they really can't take it, and you keep doing it to them, and you continuously do it, and it ends up pushing them away. Don't be mad that they don't want to when they finally leave, because they told you what was bothering them. They told you that flaw of yours that you think that they may be just being jealous of, or that they just want to complain about. They're telling you something that is actually affecting the relationship. And if you don't put in that work to try to change it, you might jeopardize the relationship. And when you jeopardize it, you can't be mad at nobody but yourself, because you self-sabotage. Okay? So this is what you must understand. You have to stop making excuses for your bad behaviors. Oh, this was done to me, so I can do it to you. Oh, this is what I know, or this is just how I am, or this is just what it is. No, you have to be willing to make those strides to become better. You have to do the work, because if you don't do the work, you're not going to get the results that you want. What is that other scripture? He that tilleth his land shall be satisfied with bread, but he that follow vain persons is void of understanding. You have to put that work in. You got to till the ground and till your land. In this instance, meaning you got to put that work in to get the results that you want. You have to put the work in to get the results that you want. You can't just think, oh, well, everybody else do this. Other relationships do this. Other couples do this. My mama did this. My daddy did this. They made it work. They did this. The person you with is not your mama and daddy. They might not have the standards that your mama had. They might not be willing to tolerate as much as your mama and daddy did. They're not them. They might not be like your ex. They might not be like your friends, girlfriends, and boyfriends and husbands and wives. They might not be like them. So you saying, oh, everybody else do this, and this, you can't say what everybody else do, because this not them. I'm not them. So you got to put in a different kind of work. You got to till this land over here better than you till that other land. You can't follow after them and thinking that me and you gonna prosper when you trying to make our relationship like somebody else's, because you see what all the other relationships have been around you. But I'm different. What worked for them don't work for me. And you can't expect me to change and become like them, because I'm not them. And I can't expect you to change and become like what I need you to be when it's not in you. You can't force things on people. You let it be known. It's up to them to fix it, to change it, and make the strides to put the work in that they need to put in to change. Or you do what you do. You do what you do with it. And y'all know me. Bye. I ain't got time for that. I'm not your mom. I'm not here to keep talking to you like I'm your mom. Y'all don't want no mamas. And I'm not your mama in no way, shape, or form. So the things that your mama took from a man, baby, don't think I'm going to take that, because I'm not. I don't have to. I'm not her. I'm not her. I don't go like, I'm not them. And I have to tell this I be saying this all the time. I'm not them. Don't compare me to no other woman. I'm not her. I'm different. I'm a different breed, baby. I'm different. I'm not them. I'm not desperate for a man. I'm not desperate for love. I'm not desperate for none of that. So you got to come around here and do what is required. If you can't meet the qualifications for this job, you're not the right fit for the job. somebody else gonna have to get that spot. You're not. And this is what we must understand. And you can't be mad at somebody when when you applying for a job that you're not qualified for. You know? So that leads us right into, you operate on how you think a situation should be rather than dealing with the reality. You got to be real with situations. You can't, it ain't about what you think it should be, but based off the environment that you grew up in and what you know things to be. You got to deal with the reality of the situation, not what you hope for, not what your delusions is telling you. No, you have to be real with yourself and be real with the situation at hand. Not thinking back about the past, about what it was. No, focus on the situation at hand. Focus on from here on, which is that's another one that I have listed here. Focusing on the past and not, when you self-sabotage when you focus on the past and not the present or the future. You keep going back, like we talked about in the overcoming depression and anxiety video. A lot of that is because people focus on the past and not focus on where we are now. You need to focus on the now and what's going on ahead. You gonna go back to the past, of course. You're gonna think about certain things, but you don't want to dwell there. You want to learn from the past, if anything. That's the only time you need to be looking back to the past, is to learn from your mistakes of the past. That's it. Learn from your mistakes of the past. Take the good from there and bring it forward. Not dwelling on the bad and trying to go back there, trying to relive that bad stuff. No, we want to come forward. So what's the next one? Okay. So the next one is you break promises to yourself and others. Not a man or woman of your word. Word is bond. The word, God, we know his word is bond. What's the little scripture? I'm gonna probably put it up here. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and let me find it. In the beginning, I think it's like, is that Timothy or something? In the beginning was the word. No, it's John. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. So in all, I'm saying this to say, word is bond. Word is what created this world. The word, God's word, is what created this world. God's word is what created human beings. Word is bond. Word is bond. And if God is not a man that he shall lie, the creation that he made in his image, the creatures, the men, mankind, men and women that he made in his image, should be a man and woman of their word too. If we're trying to be more like Christ, if we're trying to grow and excel and be righteous beings, we want to make sure that we're being true to our word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you know you really can't do something or don't want to do something, say that. Be clear with your communication. And that's a lot of people's problem too. Being a bad communicator is the root of a lot of issues in this world. Lack of communication and lack of understanding. And like we just said in that other scripture, what was it? But he that follows vain persons is void of understanding. Following the ways of the world, and you don't even know who they are. You following behind wicked people, want to do what you see them do. You don't get no understanding for yourself. You're not seeking wisdom. You just want to copy everybody else, what you see everybody else doing. You're gonna not have no wisdom. You're gonna lack understanding, because if you don't have communication, if you don't know how to properly express your words, receive words, interpret words, you're going to be confused. You're not going to understand. That is going to create self-sabotage within you when you lack understanding. Because if you don't understand something, how do you know how to perform? When your teacher give you a problem, if you have no clue what a plus sign is to do, what a multiplication sign is to do, how to do the parentheses, the what is it? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, like the order of operations and stuff. If you don't know how to do that stuff, you don't understand it. When you get it, you're gonna be looking at it like you're gonna be confused because you don't understand. When you get a paragraph to read and you don't understand the words, you're not gonna understand what that paragraph's talking about. Just like reading the Bible, many people don't understand what it's saying in the Bible because they don't understand. You're not comprehending. You can read what the words say, but you don't understand what the words mean. It's a barrier there. You're not understanding. You're not understanding. And when you give somebody your word, they're expecting you to keep it, because their understanding, the understanding that they get if you keep your word is they get to understand that you are someone they can trust, because they know when you say a word, you're going to do the word. Just like God, when he says a word, he gives a word, he's going to do it, whether it's good or bad. And we must operate the same. You be a person of your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Don't speak soon before you know you really can do something. Don't commit to things that you really don't want to do. So next one, refusing to seek help and support when we need it, ignoring the warning signs that you need a break. That is self-sabotage. If you do that, that is self-sabotage. Not seeking help. It's okay to need help. You don't have to be hyper independent, especially for my Black women out here. Y'all know a lot of us are raised to be independent, especially as the chosen ones, especially when you were the black sheep, they push us into independence. They let the boys get away with a lot of stuff without being independent. They make us be independent when they got the roles reversed. They make us be more responsible than they make the boys be responsible. They put more on us than they do on the boys, which is why our boys grow up here confused, out here not knowing how to properly be well-rounded men, because they don't have no responsibility. They're not giving them the responsibility that they need. And like we discussed in that Willie Lynch series video, for our community, everything is reversed. It's the stuff that men's supposed to be doing, they got the women doing. The stuff that women's supposed to be doing, they got the men doing. Like, it's just so, it's so backwards, and it's so pathetic and sad what has really been going on in this community. But ask for help if you need it. Be clear with what you need. Be clear with what you need. Suppressing / dismissing our emotions and second guessing yourself. That if you do that, that is self-sabotage. Like I just said, be clear with what you need. Express your emotions. Express how you feel. But once again, why do a lot of us not be able to express how we feel? Because something from the past. That a lot, especially for our men, they can't express themselves because growing up in our community, you're taught from a child, you weak if you cry. You weak if you complain. You weak if this. Even, for some of y'all, I told y'all, even with me, I don't like to ask for help because I'm seen as weak if I ask for help. I don't never want you to think I'm weak. Nah, I don't need your help then. You ain't going to be able to throw that in my face. Nah. But this, once again, comes from trauma, from the narcissistic abuse, from that psychological abuse that our men and women have endured. And we have to break this. We have to know that it is okay to ask for help. It is okay. That is something that God has taught me in this season. Like, you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to do everything alone. I got you. Really trust me. Trusting in me means really surrendering to me, letting up that control. That's another thing I got here on the list of self-sabotage. When you try to control everything, you got that spirit of Jezebel on you. You want to control everything. And even things that are somebody tells you no to, you want to force it anyway, being forceful on people. You can't do that. That is a way to self-sabotage, because that will create resistance. And when you try to force something on somebody, you make them rebel and you cause them to actually push them away, actually, like we said in the beginning. The next thing, because this video is getting long, but the next thing is repeating patterns and expecting different results. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over expecting different results. You have to, if you're doing the same thing and it's producing nothing, it's not producing no growth, it's like you're something's not doing, you're not doing something right. You're not doing something right. You need to figure out what is the problem. Is stagnation here? Why am I stagnant here? Just like I was saying with the weight loss thing. If you're trying to lose weight, you can't go back to those same behaviors that cause you to gain the weight. You're doing the same thing, expecting a different result. You eating bad, you're not going to lose the weight. You start eating good and doing what you're supposed to do, the weight starts falling off. That's how, and for me, that is literally what to do. I already know what I'm supposed to do, but the self-sabotage, sometimes you just want to give into that flesh. I just want that cookie. That sugar is That sugar is the devil. Sugar and carbohydrates is the devil. It's the devil. I'm telling you. At least it's the devil in my life. Um, it's the devil. That's the most toxic relationship I've ever been in. It's that relationship with this dang on food. But I'm breaking up with it. I'm breaking up with you. I'm done with you. I'm done for sure. Um, but we repeat patterns and expect different results. That's self-sabotage. Next thing, holding back from good opportunities because of fear of failure, fear of change, and fear of the unknown. We allow the fear of failure, the fear of change, and the fear of the unknown to literally hinder our opportunities. Like I always tell y'all, it took for me to leave a lot behind, move to a whole different state, move to Houston, then had to move again to Dallas, leave stuff behind again, had to get my car repo, get evicted, had to go through all of this stuff just to really truly get into my purpose and figure out what I had to do. And if I was fearful of coming to a place where I don't know nobody, going through all of this, if I was so fearful of that, it would have prevented me from figuring out my purpose in life. Many people walk around wondering, not feeling fulfilled. Many people that's even rich, they don't feel fulfilled in life because they're not actually in their purpose. They just doing things to make money. I saw Drea. If y'all know Drea, she used to be on Basketball Wives, and like she dated a football player or something. And she posted a post about, wanting, like, not feeling fulfilled and wanting to find her purpose. And it just goes to show, and she's successful. She's well off. And it just goes to show people really don't be feeling fulfilled inside, because a lot of times you have voids that stuff is just temporarily fill those voids. And one thing about it is, when you don't have a relationship with God, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't know God, don't have a relationship with him, and not allowing him to show you what you really called here to do, and you don't walk out in it, you never gonna feel fulfilled. You never gonna feel fulfilled. God is the only one that could truly fill voids. Coping with drugs and weed and sex and money and this and that and work and all of these things, that stuff is literally just trying to cope with it. And only thing that really end up doing is even hurting you more, because it ends up hurting something else, another one of your organs inside. We be trying to smoke our way through our pain. They got the lean and drugs and all you do is be literally killing off your own organs. Using the cigarettes to cope because you're stressed, you end up causing more sickness to you. Through coping, you cause more sickness to you. Because you end up getting lung cancer, even with the food. And that's why God is really getting on me with this food thing, and getting, like, really grabbing hold and defeating this spirit of gluttony, because food kills. Food is what causes cancer. Stress is what causes cancer. That's what causes cancer. Um, it's real. You gotta get a grip on this stuff. You really have to get a grip on this stuff. The next thing is engaging. Okay, where was we at? So like I said, holding back from good opportunities because of fear of failure. You scared of what it could be, but you need to take the risk, take the leap. No risk, no reward. Like my man Tarek say on Flip or Flop. No risk, no reward. You got to take the risk. You never know how good something could be until you try it. And even if it don't be exactly what you thought it was going to be in the beginning, that's the stepping stone to get to where you need to be. It's an experience. Nothing happens by coincidence out here. There's a reason for everything that happens in your life, and you must understand that, and you must go with God's flow. Stop trying to control everything, like we said before. Stop trying to control the outcome of everything. Listen to what God is telling you to do. Go in that direction, take that first step, and then let it just flow. Let go and let God for real, and learn how to just go with his flow. I'm telling you, life becomes much easier when you just go with his flow. It ain't to say that you ain't gonna go through some dark times and none of that, but you have that comfort, that solace in knowing that God got me. I know it's a reason for this. When you begin to learn that everything you go through, it's a reason for it, because God doesn't do nothing by mistake. It's strategy in everything that he does. He is a sovereign God. He is a strategic God. Everything that he does, it's with purpose. Everything he has created in this world serves a purpose. That's why I always talk about purpose, because everything is purposeful, because God created everything for a purpose. That means a part of his creation, we all here are to serve a purpose as well. We're not just here just to be here, just twiddling our thumbs, just around here, just picking our fingers, doing all this vain anything. We ain't here to just be doing stuff for nothing. Purposeful. Purposeful. And you have to trust the process, trust where he's taking you, trust that you do deserve greatness. So when he's taking you on your narrow path, he's taking you out of the world and putting you on a narrow path, the path of righteousness. Understand that when you stay on your narrow road, it's going to lead to a wonderful garden in the end, wonderful harvest if you just stay the course. Like the scripture says, be not weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap a harvest if you faint not. If you don't give up, you will reap a harvest. But you got to stay the course. You can't get dismayed. You can't start thinking that these things aren't possible for you, that you don't deserve this because somebody told you before that this could never be for you. You can't do this. Nobody in our family does this. And you ain't going to be the first. Who are you to think you're going to be the all them negative, man, I get thee behind me, Satan. When you start hearing any of them negative thoughts, any suicidal thoughts, man, get thee behind me. That's a trick of the enemy. God will never want you to unalive yourself. God will never want these bad things for you. God created all his humans here to have an abundance, especially the chosen one. You were called here for abundance. And that's another thing I wanted to say about the food, because food is what caused sin to come in the world, because of eating something that God told them not to eat. Told them not to eat from that tree. Disobedience of something he told us not to eat, because it was an abomination to him to eat from that, because he knew what it was going to do. And he tell you not to eat something. He's telling you not to eat. He's telling you to change it. He's convicting you of these different things. Whatever he's convicting you of, he's telling you it for a reason. It's to save you. It's to spare you. It's God's voice when it's telling you to do something that is going to actually help you. He would never want you in fear. Anything that's in your mind that's triggering the thought of fear, that is not from God, because he does not want you to fear. He wants you to have faith. He wants you to trust him, not to be scared that this is going to happen, scared that that's going to happen. Those fear and doubt tricks of the enemy. That's what you need to know. That is the enemy talking if it is telling you to do those self-sabotaging things. Okay, so I already said not taking responsibility, making excuses for your behavior. You must be accountable. You have to be accountable and take responsibility for things that are happening in your life, things that has happened. Well, depending on to the degree, but you take responsibility now. But no matter what happened before, it's your responsibility to make sure you come up out of that. It's your responsibility. Nobody else can truly do it for you, because it takes self. Because if nobody else is around, who are you going to call on? You need to rely on God, and God is going to equip you with the strength and the courage that you need to come up out of that. He's going to give you that what you need, but you must be disciplined. You must seek him diligently, and you must do what he's telling you to do. You must be obedient so that he can get you up out of that. You got to not be fearful, because when he's telling, he'll give you an idea. He'll give you something. But if you don't understand what he's doing for you, you're going to think that, nothing could ever be for you. But he's giving you something. He might just give you a download to start something, to you complaining that you don't have no money or anything. He might put an idea on your head. He'll drop it on you, but you must execute. You must start it. And then when you start it, that leads us into the next thing. Focus on instant gratification. When he tells you to do this thing and you start doing it and you're not seeing the results that you want immediately, you can't want that instant gratification. You got to be willing to put the work in over the long haul, because when you plant the seed, then you water it. After watering it, it takes some time for it to sprout. And then once it sprouts, you want it to fully all of it to fully sprout. Then you reap the harvest. But it's literally levels to it. You can't plant the seed and think that the next day the harvest is going to be there. You plant your seed for your strawberry plants today, and all of a sudden tomorrow you think you're going to be able to pick all the strawberries off the bushes. No, you got to plant the seed, got to water it. It needs some sunlight. It needs some rain. It need all of these things. It needs good fertilizer. It needs to be nurtured. It needs to be taken care of, nurtured, stewarded properly, and then it will grow and prosper, and then you'll be able to reap the harvest of it. But if you want everything instantly, instantaneously, you don't know, had no patience, can't wait, you're going to self-sabotage. You're going to stop watering a dang on plant, and now it's going to die, and then you're never going to see the harvest because you ain't properly watering. You didn't keep doing it until it finally paid off. You gave up on it. Because we be wanting instant results. Like I always say, we want to take the elevator to success, the elevator to a perfect love life, the elevator to weight loss. We want to do all these quick fixes because we're so used to convenience, and we see everybody else out here winning, and we think that they just got it overnight. Not knowing sometimes what seems like overnight to success to you was 10 years of building and grinding for them. You don't know. Okay. And that's another thing I have listed here, comparing your worst to someone else's best and using that to determine your worth. You got to stop the comparison game. Comparing, what they say, comparison is the thief of joy. I think that's the saying. Comparison is the thief of joy. Stop comparing yourself to everybody else, because you comparing your walk to theirs, you comparing your life to theirs, you comparing your relationship to theirs, you comparing your body to theirs. It's going to make you feel worthless. It's going to make you feel like you ain't nothing. Comparing your lifestyle to theirs, especially with this whole luxury girl stuff that goes on online, you think that you're not qualified for that, or that you're deserving of that. You think that you living a bad life because you see somebody else living a more luxurious life, or it looks like it anyway, not knowing that a lot of these people might not really be living that. Some of them really are. You never know. But you see what you seeing out here is literally deceiving you, letting your eyes deceive you and making it play onto how you feel about yourself. Now you think the little stuff you doing, oh, what am I doing? This ain't worth nothing. It's like, this ain't never gonna be nothing. Then you self-sabotage and you give up on what you working for. Now knowing if you stay the course, what you have, it will grow to where it's supposed to be too, and you will end up being successful in your own lane, doing your own thing, not trying to do what everybody else is doing because you're comparing your stuff to theirs. Stick to what you are doing. No matter if everybody look like they winning right now. You play for longevity. We play for longevity. We're not playing for instant gratification. We're not playing for the short term. We want long-term success. As the chosen one, God wants us here for a long time, not a short time, baby. We're not just a trend. That's why we don't hop on trends. We want something that has longevity. It's going to last generations. Generations. We're not just getting in on these quick little trends, trying to, do what everybody else going to know. We're here for the long haul. Okay, so another thing that is a sign of self-sabotage is engaging in negative self-talk, feeling unworthy of deserving the finer things in life. So you talk bad to yourself. You say, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm too skinny, I'll never be rich, I'll never be successful, I'll never have a happy relationship, I'm not deserving of nice things, I don't deserve to have kids, I don't deserve to have a family, I don't deserve greatness, I'll never be pretty, I'll never be wanted, I'll never be loved, I'll never have that house, I'll never have a car, I'll never do. Like, when you talk bad to yourself like that, I can't. When you say, even if you don't say none of that other stuff, if you say that word can't, if you say I can't do something, that's negative self-talk, baby. Can't should never be in a man's vocabulary. What they said on that movie. I forget, I think it was Love and Basketball that said that movie, but I always quote this. And he said to him, can't should never be in a man, because he said, I can't do this shit. He was like, I can't do this. He was like, can't should never be in a man's vocabulary. The boy said, why not? He said, because if you say can't, you ain't a man. And it's facts. And this is for man and woman, because you're a human and God gave us authority to do all things. He gave us the willpower to build up the earth, to have dominion over the earth. So don't say that you can't do nothing when he gave you the power to fully thrive on this earth, to fully conquer things on this earth. Don't say what you can't do. As long as you are asking for your strength from God, there's nothing that you can't do. Like I said, my thing up here says she believed she could, so she did. You must believe that you can. Ain't no can't. There's nothing that you can't do. If you feel like you don't know how to do something, it's just simply because you don't know how. You don't have the knowledge yet. Keyword, yet. You don't know it yet. But if you put the work in, if you seek the knowledge, if you seek wisdom, if you pray, if you fast, if you watch the courses, take courses, if you put the work in every day and be diligent with what you're doing every day and be purposeful and intentional and disciplined, you can do whatever. You can do whatever. Okay? So avoiding introspection is a part of self-sabotage. If you avoid, doing your self-reflection, having self-awareness, thinking, if you avoid getting in tune with yourself and being realistic with yourself, you're going to self-sabotage because you can't even be real with yourself. You're living in delusions. And if you're living in delusions, there's no way that you're going to really be able to truly prosper without constantly deceiving, because you're deceiving yourself. So of course, if you're deceiving yourself and telling yourself lies, you're going to tell everybody else lies. And like I always say, baby, the chosen ones, we are children of God, not children of Satan. So he's the father of lies. You don't want to be a pathological liar, pathological delusion person out here. And no, you want to be real about things. Be real with yourself. Be real with others. Be self-aware. Be accountable. Be responsible. And make the true changes that you need to make so that you can truly prosper. The next thing is prioritizing coping over healing. We discussed that. Coping only leads to spiritual death and physical death sometimes. You want to truly do the work, heal, unpack that stuff that's plaguing you. Talk about it. So at the end, we're going to do the solution to self-sabotage. So that's a part of that. I already talked about focusing on the past. The next thing is shine away from discomfort or the unknown. Don't shy away from things that are uncomfortable. If it's uncomfortable, you want to do it. That's how you challenge yourself. That's how you grow. That's how God pushes you. That's why he gets us uncomfortable. When you going through your season of growth, when he ready to take you to the next level, it get real uncomfortable. You got to get real uncomfortable. There is no growth in comfortability. There is no growth in comfortability. You must get uncomfortable. You must get uncomfortable. That's why he's going to shake it up every time. Relationship going to get messed up. Your job, your everything. Everything going to get shaken up when he's trying to grow you to that next level. You're going to lose a lot because you got to get uncomfortable. Just like he did Job. He had Satan come in, steal all this stuff, steal everything. He had to get real uncomfortable. He was comfortable as long as he had the wealth, his kids. He had everything going for himself. Stripped everything from him, made him get real uncomfortable. If one, test his loyalty, test his faith to see if he's still going to ride for God. And in that season of uncomfortability, he did not falter. He did not turn to God and curse God. He was upset, but he did not curse God. He stayed down until he came up. He questioned God and everything. And God did chastise him because he was demanding that God answer him. And God, one thing about it, you can ask God all the questions you want to, but you cannot demand when he answer you. You cannot demand when he answer you. You got to sit patiently and wait on the answer that he give you. But in the end, after his season of uncomfortability, God blessed him double for his trouble. You're going to get blessed double for your trouble. But he want to see how you're going to move in that season of uncomfortability. He testing to see trying to see what you really made of. Are you really deserving of what you asking for? He trying to test you. And it's to build you up. It's to really strengthen you. That perseverance it strengthens you during that time. It make you really see what you really made of, because you don't know what you really made of until you don't got nothing and you trying to get everything back. And when you hit rock bottom, that shows you what you really made of. It shows you what you really made of. You gonna fold or you gonna stand 10 toes? You gonna fight back? You gonna fold? You gonna let the enemy win? You gonna succumb to life injuries? or you're going to fight back. You're going to eat. You're going to grind. You're going to figure out what you got to do. And in the end, God blessed him double fold for that. So you got to be willing to get uncomfortable. It don't feel good, of course, but stagnancy don't feel good either. Living in lack when abundance is your portion. Abundance was supposed to be the portion for the human race until we, did what we wasn't supposed to do. Abundance is our portion. And that's why as getting back into the kingdom, when you born again and he take you on your wilderness or whatever, he's trying to give you the keys. That's why I say y'all need to hit the book 7 Keys to the Kingdom. It's the keys that you need to eat from the tree of life again. Because now everybody out here is still eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because that's what now you have to have this discernment out here. That's how everybody be getting finessed and everything, because you're not eating from the tree of life, because the gifts that's given to you in the tree of life is only gifted to you when you're born again and when you truly have mastered those 7 keys to the kingdom. And the 7 keys to the kingdom is gratitude. Well, first of all, it's faith, obedience, repentance, not being idolatrous, having humility, and having gratitude and communion with God. Those are the 7 keys to the kingdom. Those are the 7 keys that you must do every day that's going to allow you to eat from the tree of life again, that's going to lead you into your new life of abundance, prosperity, because that's your portion. But there's things that you do have to do first. And part of it is getting uncomfortable. And that's why you have that season of the wilderness to test your faith and to see if you master that part. Okay. So next is lack of boundaries. You self-sabotage when you lack boundaries. You have a difficulty saying no or setting clear boundaries and committing to things that you don't really want to do. When you hide your authentic self, when you prioritize other people's need above your own, and when you take responsibility for things which aren't your fault just to avoid confrontation. Like we basically covered that in the last video about being a people pleaser. So those are all people pleasing activities. When you can't be your authentic self, when you say yes to things you really want to say no to, when you're afraid to say no because you don't want to shake the boat, you don't want to rock the boat, when you prioritize being nice versus being kind, and when you be nice, oftentimes you doing things that you really don't want to do just for the sake of everybody else, but then you end up feeling regretful about it later and bad, and it really takes toll on your spirit after the fact because you're doing things that you really didn't want to do in the first place. So, not relaxing until everything is done. That's self-sabotaging. Saying yes to duties outside of your work scope, and when you are overworked because you're not having those boundaries, you're being a people pleaser. You don't know when enough is enough, and you letting everybody just take advantage and get over on you, and you getting over on yourself. I already talked about comparing yourself, overindulging and ignoring the consequences, which is gluttony. Anything that you overindulge in, that's gluttonous. Overindulging in food, you're overeating. You may smoke or drink or smoke cigarettes, smoke weed, whatever. You might have sex sometimes. You're overdoing it. When you overdo something, it becomes bad. Everything and anything in excess, even if you eat in vegetables, if you eat too much of it, it can become bad for you. Overly doing things is not good for you. Just like people will take a drug today to feel good, but then they overly do it, they end up ODing, and you don't want to overdo anything. It's gluttonous. It's abusing whatever it is. Even with your power, when you're in certain positions of power, certain positions of authority, and you abuse your authority, that's self-sabotaging, because then you end up destroying the whole company, the whole organization. You end up destroying whatever it is that you have power in, like these church leaders are. They use their authority and their power, and they actually destroying the congregation instead of leading the congregation closer to God and leading them into the kingdom of heaven, because they taking their authority and using it in a completely different way than what they were supposed to use it for. And they ignoring the consequences of it. And this is why we already have Judgment Day coming soon, because all the wickedness that's going on out here, especially for the people that God called to be in these leadership, these pastoral roles, these leadership roles, and all they doing is corrupting the nation, corrupting the people, corrupting the flock. These shepherds that God called into position to lead his flock, to him so that they can live a life of abundance, they doing everything but that. They ain't telling them the truth. They ain't giving them the real. They not keeping it real with these people because they only doing things for money, for greed. They wanting to overindulge. They got too greedy with the money. Gluttonous and greed. Gluttonous just refer more to food, and like really anything, but anything outside of it can be, is greed and gluttony is overly doing something. You get overly obsessed with that thing, and you get overly you just wanting to overindulge in it, and you ignore the consequences that come along with it. Because once that spirit of greed and gluttony get on you, it take over. And now you don't care who gets destroyed, even if you destroy yourself in the process, you just willing to give into that. And that's one of the 7 deadly sins: gluttony and greed. Constantly seeking distractions or engaging in time-wasting activities. That is a self-sabotaging behavior. When you are looking to do anything, you're looking for entertainment versus education. If you know you're trying to, if you say you trying to move next month or move in 6 months, and you come home every day and you going clubbing, you going to get your hair and makeup done and going to buy shoes every day. If you're supposed to be moving soon, you need to be coming home and save your money. You need to stop eating out so much. You need to be watching some videos on how to save if you don't know how to save. If you're trying to start a business, instead of spending your money on things that is for everything else other than your business, other than maybe investing in a course to learn something, you are doing things that are distractions to what you're trying to do. You're self-sabotaging, because if you're trying to save money, if you're trying to invest in something, but you're spending money on all these things that don't even relate to that, it doesn't help build what you're trying to do, what are you doing? You're self-sabotaging. You're self-sabotaging. You're supposed to be working on your new business, and you over here sitting over here watching Love and Hip Hop. You watching the shows. You laid up every night because you so lustful that you can't put sex aside for a little bit so that you can focus. You can't get some focus. You need to focus. You can't get focused because you worried about entertainment and a good time, and you're self-sabotaging. Okay. You are engaging in time-wasting activities. You investing in activities that is not going to help you accomplish those goals that you have. Okay? Holding on to limiting beliefs about oneself or the world is self-sabotaging. So that goes back into what I was saying about having, not feeling good enough for certain things. Feeling like that can never happen for me. My belief system says this can't happen for me. Perfectionism and having unrealistic expectations. We talked about that a bit. And, just striving for perfection. You'll never be perfect in nothing, or waiting until the perfect moment to do something. You can never wait until the perfect moment. There is no such thing as a perfect moment. You create the moment when you just do it, when you just have faith, when you like Nike, just do it. You ain't stuck. Just do it. Just do it. Especially when this is something you've prayed to God about and you really want something, God gonna make sure He equip you with what you need. You don't gotta be prepared for it. We be waiting for the perfect time for everything. There is no such thing as a perfect time. You create that perfect time by just doing it. And when you take that step, God gonna back you up. All you gotta do is take that step. God gonna follow up every single time. Every single time. Because obviously, if it's on your spirit and it's plaguing you, and obviously He's urging you to take that step. He's telling you to take that step. Leave that job or apply for that job or whatever He's telling you to do. Leave this behind. Do this. Move here, move there. And you like, I don't got the resources. I need a perfect time. I don't got the money. I want to leave this domestic violence relationship. I want to leave this, but I don't got no money. All this stuff. You worrying. Fear of what you don't have, fear of the unknown, fear of change, fear of what it could be. And you thinking the negative about what it could be versus seeing the positive that everything you've been praying for is on the other side of that door. If you just open the door and walk out and close it, don't look back, keep pushing forward and allow God to lead you into your next. But perfectionism, it can play out in different ways. Once again, I said trying to control everything, and imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome is feeling like you're not good enough for something, feeling like it can never be you. And if it do so happen to happen for you, you feel like it was luck because you don't believe that things can be for you. It can happen for other people, but it can't happen for me. I'm just little old Tania from here. This can't happen for me. Oh, I come from the trailer. I lived in trailer. I lived in the hood. I lived in, I come from a family that I'm not saying this as me, but I'm just giving an example. Like you take on the identity of maybe where you came from, and you be like, nobody in my family has ever drove. No one in my family has ever had a license. No one in my family has ever had a business that was successful. No one in my family has ever had a job that pays them XYZ. No one in my job has ever been married. So who am I to think that I can do these things? No one in my family does this. We all like this. Who am I to do this? Everybody in my family bald head. Who am I to have any long hair? Like, but these are all real things, you know? And you think you're unqualified or incompetent to have these things. So you might look around and assume everyone else knows what they're doing except you. You don't feel like even if he call you into a lane, you see that other people do what you're doing, and they may do it better than you. So you feel like, I can't do this because I'm not as good as them. And if I do so happen to have one successful video or one successful sale or one successful, you think, oh, it was just luck. I just lucked up and got this job. I just lucked up and had this opportunity. I just lucked up and met this person. I don't never get a good person. I always get people that want to use me and abuse me. So if I get this great person, of course this is not for me. This is luck. Baby, ain't no such thing as luck. It's divine alignment. Okay? It's divine orchestration from the Most High God. So, solutions to self-sabotage. The number one important thing is being self-aware and realizing that you are self-sabotaging. You have to realize, you have to see when it's kicking in. You have to pay attention to yourself, pay attention to your patterns, study your own patterns, study people's patterns. Patterns is what dictates character, and it dictates what you do and where you're struggling at. You pay attention to your patterns, you realize, like I told y'all with my weight thing, and I had another channel that I had did before. I didn't like, I stopped doing it, self-sabotage on the channel, because I started self-sabotaging with my eating. And because I wasn't eating good, instead of keep doing the videos, even if I wasn't, eating the best, instead of just still doing it and showing the, the up and downs of trying to lose weight, I just stopped doing it all because I fell off, and it's self-sabotage, but I knew that I saw my pattern. And that's why now I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what is required of me. So now for me, I know exactly what it takes for me. The eating regimen that I have to be on is not the same as everybody else. I know what works for me because I've done it before. I see my pattern and I see each time what has actually hindered my progress. So I now know because of my pattern. So you got to pay attention to your patterns in whatever area it is. Even, when you building something and you start getting progress in it, you start getting the followers. Maybe you on a platform, you start getting the followers, then you stop doing what you was doing. Self-sabotage. You was posting every day, posting more consistently, posting this, and then you stop doing it. It's self-sabotage. And then you wonder why you ain't getting the results that you were getting. They didn't kick you out the algorithm because you stopped posting. You stopped being consistent. You stopped doing what you was doing. And now you self-sabotaging. You was getting that momentum, but then you stopped because maybe something happened. Maybe, something happened and now you let that get you off your A game. So you got to develop self-awareness first. That's the first way to stop self-sabotaging. Become aware. Be real with yourself. Stop playing like you Mr. or Mrs. Perfect, like you don't make no mistakes. And also, don't be too hard on yourself. You're human. We make mistakes. We're faulty. We've been through a lot. We trying to we just trying. It's hard out here for everybody. It's hard out here. So give yourself grace, but don't be super lenient on yourself, because you have to have some type of you have to be pressed in. You have to, I'm not saying like be hard on yourself, but you have to have discipline. You have to kind of whip yourself into shape. Sometimes you got to be tough on yourself. Sometimes you just got to deny that flesh. You got to do things that you don't really want to do sometimes when you want to succeed in whatever area it is in. You got to compromise with yourself just like you got to compromise with others. So sometimes today you might got to be a little harder on yourself. But when you've been hard or you've been strict all week, all right, you can lighten up one day. Take it easy. Maybe I do, be a little lenient today. Maybe I'm not going to post as many times today. Or maybe I'm not going to be super strict with my diet today. But you got to know what's make or break for you, because if you get because you can get too comfortable. You take off that one day, then you be like, oh, I can take off another day. Oh, I can take off another day. Or I can cheat. I cheated today on my diet. I can cheat tomorrow on my diet. And then you'll end up going way back again. So you got to keep yourself in check. You got to keep yourself motivated. If you can have an accountability partner, that's cool. But when it's all said and done, it's you and the Lord alone. You better call on the Lord. That's your accountability partner, the Most High. Number 2 way to the solution to self-sabotage is write it out. Write out a plan. Dreams with no ambition, dreams with no plan, is just that. It's a dream. You have to, what does the word say? Write the vision and make it plain. Okay, y'all, my phone had died. So let me finish this up right quick though. But like I was saying, write the vision and make it plain. You want to write out, even if you're just journaling, like whatever you have problems with, whatever your troubles are, you want to start keeping a journal of, if you start journaling your life every day, or even just areas that you struggle in, and then you want to make a plan of steps you're going to take. Because if you have a vision, like if you're a dreamer, you got dreams, but you have no plan, you have to have a blueprint, the outline of what it takes to get to the end and to that finish goal. You can't have a dream, you can't have a vision, but not have a plan to execute the vision. Every business, well, most legitimate businesses, they have had a business plan. They had something to go off of. So as they're building, they know what to do, because it's the small steps that leads to the big step, that leads to the finished product, that leads to the outcome. So you got to be willing to write that down. So the scripture says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that read it. But the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So basically, write your plans down. Don't make it too extreme. Make it something that you know you can do. Be realistic with your goals. Be realistic. Like I tell y'all for weight loss, because that's something that is my lane. Be realistic with yourself. Don't be, especially if this is something new for you, you got to take baby steps. If you know it's hard for you to just go into eating a fruit and diet vegetable right off the bat, a fruit and vegetable diet right off the back, or if it's hard for you to even fast with no food, no water, you do small things. You start with intermittent fasting. You start with taking away the juice, taking away soda, taking away, like if you go to have pizza or something, instead of eating 3 pieces of pizza, eat 2 pieces. Instead of having a burger and fries, just either have the fries and a drink or a burger and a drink. Don't get the fries, the burger, and the soda. Like, that's on that tip. If you, whatever your area is, if you struggle with being on time for places, you need to make sure you start writing a plan of how long it takes you to get somewhere. And then you want to make a plan for what time, like leaving out 15 minutes earlier than you need to, or 20 minutes, just depends on the circumstance. But you want to start writing it out, getting better time management and better organized with your life so that you can, live out these dreams. You have to get specific with your day, even with like your goals. Like say you have today, you want to do something. like I know for me, I'm just gonna give y'all my example. Like I have what I want to do by the hour. So every day, like I have a plan for the day, but this is what I do from 7 to 9 a.m. Do this. From 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I have this marked off. For 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is what I need to be doing. From 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Put her down for a nap. For 12 p.m. From 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. read my Bible. From 3 p.m. to 4 from 3 p.m. to 4:30 or 5, work with my daughter, doing homework, schooling, doing her words, doing stuff like that. This time to this time, spend time with my kids. This time to this time, bad time and stuff for them. This time to this time, dinner for them. This time to this time, me time for myself. So literally getting organized with your day. Or for whatever it is for you. But that was just an example that I use. And you definitely want to start journaling, start writing your feelings out, stop holding everything in. A lot of the trauma that you have inside, you either got to talk about it or you got to release it through the pen. The only way to release these things is paper to pen or speaking it. You got to let that stuff out though. You got to start doing affirmations, telling yourself, I am beautiful. I am fit. I will be fit one day. Because just like for me, my mom, that plays in my head with her saying, oh, you ain't never going to be skinny. You'll never be small. Like, but then I got small and then it was, you said I look like a crackhead. But you know, these things are playing your ear about what somebody said. Oh, you'll never be this. You'll never be that. So you begin to think, maybe I won't. Especially like, okay, it's so hard for me to lose the weight, or it's so hard for me to start this, whatever it is that you're trying to do. And you'll begin to think that because of something that somebody put in your ear. But no, if you really want it bad enough, you will be it. I'll be thinking sometimes I'll never lose all this stomach fat. I'll never lose all this. If you work at it diligently and stop self-sabotaging, you can do it. You can do it. But you have to put the work in. Okay? Where's my thing at? So that was like number 2 and 3 together. Creating a plan, writing out your feelings, writing out, creating a plan and doing it. And then practicing mindfulness. So you just want to be thoughtful about what you're doing and really figure out what it is that it takes. It goes once again into the planning for it and then your coping mechanisms that you use to get through it. You know, depending on what your issues is, like I told y'all in that other video, I started doing, like that day I got triggered by that man, I never did a breathing exercise in my life. I know Dr. Fox, because he talks about BPD or whatever, and I tell y'all, like, I do kind of feel like, you know, I know I definitely got that. I definitely got that. And it's being real with yourself. You know, everybody likes to shun having mental illness. Like people don't really like to go to therapy because you feel like you weak if you got therapy, if you need therapy, or you feel like you crazy. Baby, if you call me crazy, I am crazy. So that means to tread lightly around me because I will go 0 to 100 on you. But like I say, don't go off the flesh, go off the spirit. So just be having to calm. But I just know that that's a thing for me too. I've had many people tell me your temper. So I know that that is something that I truly have to work on, and it's about regulating those emotions when I am triggered. So I have to practice those coping mechanisms, like, and Dr. Fox said to, when you feeling like you getting enraged, throw water on your face. Baby, sometimes I be places and I can't throw water on my face. So I've never actually tried that technique of throwing water on my face. But I did try that breathing exercise that day. I don't know. It's like God told me to just breathe, like, because I called him. I said, God, please calm me. And all of a sudden, it's just like I heard breathe. I've never done that a day in my life. I've never did a breathing exercise. When I go 0 to 100, I just go in. I'm not thinking about breathing. I'm not thinking about no water. I'm thinking about, you just got me messed up and now you need to pay for that. But that's not healthy. Because like the little scripture said, and that's why I too be having to read scriptures, because it's like, you got to go off the spirit and be like, you know, he that is slow to, I even got that up on my wall right here. And sometimes I still, it go completely out the way, but I have to write certain things down that is specifically for me in areas that I know I need to work on. But it says, he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty only to want. And It's a bunch of them in Proverbs. That's why I love the book of Proverbs. It's a bunch of them in there that's talking about, being slow to anger and being slow to wrath, and grievous words, or something like that. Grievous words stir up anger, but you know I'm gonna put the scripture up there because I forget exactly what it is. But basically, be careful with your word choice, because you can say the right words and they might not provoke someone to anger. Um, let's see if I can find that. And that's why I read Proverbs a lot, because sometimes I be doing some foolish stuff too with my anger and stuff. And just he that is slow. Okay, that's what I already wrote down. He that is slow to wrath is great at understanding. Oh, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools pour out foolishness. And the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. God is seeing everything that's going on. But a slow answer does turn away wrath. And, sometimes you be quick to pop off with the lips, but it's just like, just chill, because you can deviate from unnecessary strife if you just work on that. So you got to figure out what your areas is that cause you to self-sabotage, because anger messes up relationships. It pushes people away. Your temper, not knowing what to say out your mouth, just saying anything that come to mind when you get mad, and you don't care how you offend the person, and then you want to go back and apologize, and you already hurt their feelings because you set a low blow. Y'all know how we do as women, not all, but a lot, and especially if you are a former toxic one. Um, you know, and because sometimes it's like it's like we be so in our feelings about something that it's just we have to say things, because it's like we can't physically beat a man, so you say words that can hurt, and words do hurt. They say sticks and stones break my bones, but words will never hurt. But no, baby, words will eat you alive. Words last, because just like I was saying, those are the voices that we hear. We hear them words over and over again that somebody said to us over and over again. um you know and lastly, it's communicate. You stop self-sabotaging by communicating. Maybe communicating with your friends or family or a trusted person. Prayer, first and foremost, you want to communicate with the Most High. You want to communicate with God, baby, so that He can guide you on how to do that. Because I assure you, a lot of the things that has been revealed to me about my problem areas, like that's what this spiritual journey has been about for me. God separated me, isolated me to show me things, because sometimes when you a stiff neck, and when can't no one listen to what nobody got to say, sometimes you're not receiving what your significant other is telling you, or what your family is telling you, or what anybody is telling you, that they may have actually been trying to tell you something that's truthful to help you, because it's a detriment to you, some of your behaviors, but you're not listening to them because of who is telling you. But it took for God to tell me some of these things, and then lead me to Him and lead me to the Word. That's what I'm saying. The Word gonna convict you, but it's to help you. So you can't run from reading the Bible because it say things that convicts your spirit, but it's only to better you. That's why I love the book of Proverbs. Proverbs gonna check me every time. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, be quiet, Solomon. I'll be like, shut up, Solomon. But he's right. And I just be like, I gotta take it for what it is, because God led me to it for a reason. Just like I said with that other one about the merciful man does good to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubles his own flesh. Like you gotta have that discipline that you need. And I know that that's a major thing for me, is discipline with several areas. Okay, so you know you want to be able to communicate your feelings. You want to get that stuff out so that you're not harboring on these insecurities. You want to let it be known. And then even if you have an accountability partner, you let them know what your struggle areas are. You let them know where you're weak at. So when they see you stumbling, when they see you faltering, when they see you stumbling and going backwards, they could be like, hey sis, hey bro, hey boo, look, we're not doing that. You can't do that. That's gonna mess you up. That's gonna take you backwards. No, I'm not giving into that. Surrounding yourself around the right people that help you instead of hindering you. Because if they know you trying to stop smoking, if they know you trying to lose weight, if they know you trying to whatever it is you're trying to work on, they won't actually put you in those environments. They're not going to bring cigarettes around you. They're not going to bring the weed around you. They're not going to be talking about that around you. They're not going to bring bad foods around you. They're not going to be bringing that stuff around you. If they know that certain topics trigger you, they're not going to purposely say these certain things. They're not going to purposely things that you already told them, hey, I don't like when you do that to me. I don't like when you say that to me. I don't like when you touch me like this. Or I don't like when you tell them that. If they really care for you, they would not do it. So, but if they continue to do it, that just shows that they don't really care about you like that. When you tell them, hey, I've been through this before and this is a trigger for me. So when you do this, I don't really like that. And they continue to do it. That's how you know people that's not for you, because they purposely want to provoke you to anger. And you don't be around people that provoke you to anger, because they don't really care about your well-being. They want to be toxic, and that's not what you want for yourself. So you don't want to self-sabotage yourself by having certain people in your environment that don't serve you any good. That's self-sabotage on your behalf, because you get to choose who in your life. Didn't I read that scripture to y'all about the city? I think I did. I don't remember where it was. He that troubles his own house shall inherit wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart. If you trouble your own house, it says you will inherit wind. That means you will get that power of the wind, and then you're going to destroy your own house because of that. You don't want to destroy your own house, and that's what we will do. We'll destroy our own self because of who we are, who we have in our lives, because of our own self-destructive behaviors that wind will come in and terrorize us and the people that's connected to us. It says the fool shall be a servant to the wise of heart. Like, you just want to make sure you practicing discipline. You practicing things that are going to help you and stop hindering you. We don't want these things to hinder us. That's what the whole objective of this video was, to stop the self-sabotaging behavior that is hindering your anointing, hindering your blessings. Don't be your own blessing blocker. Don't block your own blessings because of your lack of discipline, because of your lack of patience. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that video here because I gotta go take my girls to the park. It's 5 o'clock, so I gotta go take my girls to the park, and before this phone get a dying again. So I will see you guys in the next video. I hope y'all learned something from this video, and until the next time, baby, deuces.